Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another solo board game playthrough. Today we're going to be playing a playthrough of Citizens of the Spark. This just delivered from Thunderworks Games. It's actually a game that's not in the ULOS, like the role player universe. It's its own deal. And this game we're going to be, it's ultimately a card game. There's a bit of engine building, kind of set collection stuff. But basically what we're going to be doing is we have our city, which will be down here. We're going to be attracting citizens, and then we can choose to activate those abilities of those citizens. And it's sort of a management of like some of the abilities. We have the AI opponent Scintilla, and Scintilla does the same thing. We'll pull citizens from the assembly, which is the center part of the game, and activate abilities and things like that. Kind of the main hook to this game is that each player can follow the active player when they activate stuff. So you'll see that as the game progresses and how that works with the AI. So we're going to go ahead and just get started with setup. I haven't completed everything with setup. We have this big deck of citizen cards here. And this big deck here is comprised of 7 different citizens. The game comes with 30. And then if you get, like I backed it on Kickstarter, so I got the promo pack of 3 more. So I have 33 different types of citizens. And we are using the higher interaction setup. So there are some card setups depending on player count, and we're using the high interaction setup here, which is what's recommended for the solo game, for the first solo game. However, we'll do that for this playthrough. For the next playthrough, we're going to randomize everything and see how that works. But that's going to tell us the different citizens we have. We have the executioner, the mediator, the medic, the outcast, the soldier, the trader, and the tyrant. If you were to increase your player count, there's extra cards to add in to make that way. And so let's go ahead and just hop into it here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw 4 cards from the top of the deck and keep 2. And this is more or less how the cards are structured. So you can look here. Some of them, so this is the trader. Some of them have like an icon up here, or different icons. This is the ability. Depending on like the color of the ability, it means something different in terms of like what it is. Like all the flame ones like kind of attack the opponent. There are ones with a shield that are reaction, so if somebody plays an attacky one on you, you can use that as a reaction. There's end of game ones, there's when played ones, things like that. So, and then at the bottom, you can see this symbol here that has this like little question mark with like a swirly icon. That is a variable ability, a variable thing. So, if, for example, as we place out citizens on our city, we're going to stack like ones together. So I would stack these 2 soldiers together because I've got 2 of them. If I were to activate the ability of the soldier, it says take variable from one city with fewer of that sword icon than your city. And so in this case, because I've got 2 stacked here, I would take 2 cards. So the power, that's the power of the ability depending on how many cards you have stacked there. So for this executioner, for instance, we would take each opponent must discard, depending on how many executioners I have, and then you would do that. So that's sort of how that works. So the first thing we do is we draw 4 and we keep 2, and then we discard the other 2. I'm going to keep this trader, and I'm going to keep one of these soldiers, and we'll dump those 2. So those get into our city. Our city is this area down here. And then we're going to discard 15 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So this becomes a discard pile. And then we're going to fill out the assembly. So this is where we're going to grab cards. We're going to draft 2 cards. We're going to do something if we want, and then we're going to clean up. And that's really the flow of the game. It's really quick. And then Scintilla is going to take 3 cards to create their city. And so we're just going to put it from top to bottom. And then if we get any cards of the same type, we're going to stack them together. But there isn't any of that. So we're completely set up. Now, the aim of the game is to get these sparks, which you can see Scintilla sparks are here. Here's an example of something. So the Tyrant says before you play an ability with this, before you play an action ability with this fire symbol, gain 3 sparks. Sparks are victory points. So that's ultimately what we're trying to gain for this. So I'm going to kind of use this space a little bit over here to put my people because Scintilla stuff will go off to the side. So I've got to draft 2 cards. And I think for that, I want to draft these 2. So we're going to draft these 2. I got the Tyrant here. So just like the ability said, before performing, and this is an ongoing ability, so before performing, I forget the attack ability, gain 3 spark, and at the end of the game, I'll get points based on how many of those sword symbols. So I have 1 tyrant, I'll get 1 point for every sword symbol. If I've got 2 tyrants, I would get 2 points for every sword symbol. And if I have 3 tyrants, I'll have 3 points per sword symbol. So I want to get more tyrants. Then I have the Executioner, which we looked at, so I'll set him into my city as well. Now, this would be the option for me to activate an ability. And if I wanted to activate an ability, I would do that ability. Again, it's based on the strength of how many of those cards we have in our city. And then, if Scintilla has that same citizen, they would follow us by getting points equal to the number points based on the number of citizens they have in their stack. So if they got 0, they've got 1 citizen, they'll get 3 points or 3 spark. If they've got 2 citizens, they'll get 5 spark, and if they got 3 or more citizens, they'll get 8 spark. Then they'll discard the top card of that citizen stack for whichever one they activated to follow, and then I'll discard mine. And then we'll refill during cleanup. We'll refill here, and then we'll add a spark to the sections that didn't get chosen, and refill the one that was chosen. So to incentivize these a little bit more. So I don't think I'm going to activate anything because the trader would say trade. I could trade 1 citizen in for another citizen in a city with fewer of those than my city. So I'd still have to get more before I could do that. The Executioner, I would discard. They'd have to discard the Mediator, which could be good, but I kind of want to save that up for a little bit more and do a bit bigger hit. This could let me take 1 from their city because I have more sword icons. So maybe we'll activate this actually. So let's go ahead and activate our soldier. So it says take 1, because I have 1 here power, from 1 city with fewer sword icons. I've got 3 sword icons. They have 1. Discard all soldiers during cleanup. So I'm going to take this Mediator from them. And then when they have a gap, they fill in, slide up. They can't follow me, so they're not going to. So then I discard that. This gets a spark, and this gets a spark. These are clear, so they may be a little hard to see, unfortunately, but it kind of is what it is. We're going to refill, and then we're going to be done with our turn. So now we're going to go into Scintilla's turn. So Scintilla will flip over a card here, and what's going to happen is you've got these 3 symbols. We're going to flip the card over. So Scintilla's deck is based off 6 basic cards that are in every game, and then 7 cards, 1 for each additional, or 1 for each different citizen. So the deck will be tailored to what citizens you're playing with. So you have Treasured Archives. So basically the structure of these cards are, they're going to entice the citizens from that color. So they're going to entice the purple ones, and they get any sparks for enticing them. They take the left one, fill in any gaps, and then if they have any already with a stack, they'll fill that stack up. So in this case, they didn't. Then they're going to use this as their slot to activate. So it says award Scintilla points. Wait, why is this not focusing? Per revealed Scintilla card, including this one. So they're going to look at the strength here. It's the Executioner. They have 1 Executioner there. So they have 1 Scintilla card, so they only get 1 point. Then they would discard this, and then I would get to follow if I wanted to. So I could follow. Each player must discard. And I follow with the ability. So if I wanted to follow, I could do this, which I think I'm going to. I'm going to do each player must discard 1 card. And then this is before performing that, I get 3 points. Oh, should I gotten my 3 points earlier? Yes, I should have got my 3 points earlier from doing my soldier. So there's my 3. So I'm going to follow with the Executioner. It's going to force them to discard this. And then I'm going to get 3 points again. And we can convert that to a 5. I've got all the points off to the side. So they come in these little nice, little trays here. Here's 10s and 25s, and here's 1s and 5s. So we're going to do that. This gets discarded, and then, I have to slide them up first. So we slide them up, and then we discard, then we follow. So I missed that timing a little bit. So that's their turn. We're going to refill. And yeah, this is the flow of the game. It's very fast. Yeah, it's really fast. So now with the trader, I can trade for something and then kind of make them take some stuff of mine. So I think we're going to take the Outcast and the Medic. I'll get those 2. We'll have our Medic here and our Outcast, and then we're going to activate our trader. It says trade 1. So I get my 3 points for activating a attack card, which converts this into 11 total. I'll do this. Then, so I'm activating the trader. The trader says trade 1 from in your city with in 1 city with fewer of these icons. I've got 2, they've got 0, so we're going to trade this with this. That's going to slide that up, and then I get that Tyrant. They can't follow, so we're going to discard that during cleanup, refill, and end the go. The game ends when the deck runs out. So, okay. So they're going to take Restorative Remedy. They're going to take this. They're going to take that and take that. Then it says award Scintilla points 0 points because they only have 1. Place 2 from the bottom of the discard pile into Scintilla. So they're going to activate the Executioner. They're going to do its ability. So they're going to get 0 points because there's only 1 card, but they're going to get 2 cards here. So there's a Soldier that they get, and then they get another Executioner. And then they would discard the Executioner for the ability if I didn't want to, and then I could follow, but I'm not going to follow. And then we haven't seen this yet, but if they activate a citizen that has extra cards in that stack, after discarding the 1, they would send it to the back of the queue, push everything up. However, this is already at the very end, so it's not going to do anything. And then boom, boom, and then we'll do our turn. Okay. So I want to get some more sword icons, especially with the Tyrant and its ability. I'm going to go for this stack. So I'm going to take those and get the Medic and the Outcast. Now, the Outcast is kind of a bummer because at the end of the game, we lose points per citizens in our city for the more Outcasts we have. So we definitely want to get rid of them if we can. I don't think I'm going to activate anything. I think I'm going to wait. So we'll refill. We'll flip. We'll flip. And we're going to do Scintilla's turn. So Scintilla is going to attack us. If we had a card with a reaction icon, which is a shield, we could do that ability after they draft their cards, but we don't have one of those. So we're going to take those and convert that into a 5. So cash out. Place all outcasts for Scintilla and the assembly in your city. Award Scintilla points based on the played outcasts. So I'm going to get all 3 of these outcasts. Unfortunately, and then because the activation was 2 with the Soldier, they're going to get 1 point for every outcast they sent over, which is going to be 3. And there are none in the city, so okay, so they did that. This will get discarded. If we had a Soldier we could follow, but we don't, and then we're going to move up, refill. Okay, so I've got to get rid of these guys here. So I need some more traders to get rid of them. But there aren't any, so I'm going to need some other way to get rid of things if I can. I think I'm going to take the Medic and the Mediator. I can trade. That could be good. I can trade some of these in. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is activate the Medic as my ability. It says I can place. So the Medic allows me to place so many from the bottom of the discard pile, so I get to do 4 because my stack has 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And one thing that I didn't mention, but you are allowed to activate an ability lower tier than what you have. So if I wanted to only do 1 or 2, I could do that as well. Do the 1 or 2 ability, I could do that as well. So we have an Executioner, we have another Medic, we have a Tyrant, we have another Mediator. They have no Medic to follow, so that Medic gets discarded, but we did add another one to our stack, which is great. Boom, boom. Oh, wrong thing. And then we'll refill. All right, we're going to flip. Relentless Soldiers, they're going to take the blue, which will be this one, and then this comes down here. So I didn't mention this, but this is the sequence. So as they add on more, they will come down here and continue to fill out. This is still part of the city, so things that care about the icons or following or things like that will affect down here. So they've done that. Okay, so they're going to attack us. Award Scintilla 3 points, and then choose 2 stacks in your city. Give Scintilla 1 from each stack, discarding Scintilla's blue section. So just so that you can see that, we're going to give them 2 because they've got 2 soldiers. So they're going to activate 2 things, and then we're going to give them 1 from each 2. We're going to pick 2 stacks and give them 1. So the first one get 3 points. 1, 2, 3. That's a 10. So we'll swap that out. Then give them 1 from each stack. So I'm going to give them this one from that stack, and I think I'm going to give them. Do I want to give them this Executioner? Because it has to be 2 separate stacks. Because I want to keep the rest of the stuff. So I'll give them the Executioner. And then we're going to discard all things from them. So this is replicating the abilities. Like this is a soldier ability. So this is effectively replicating this ability. So that's really nice that we get the effects of the cards we're playing with. The AI gets to use the effects without actually having to use the effects on the cards themselves. It makes it for getting a really good experience of like a multiplayer game. So I have no soldiers to follow, so I'm not going to follow. This slides up, this slides up, this slides up. I think technically now is when I'd follow, but I'm not going to follow. Because we have to resolve the ability of the card first, and then we would follow. Okay. Which I do want to point out that the game does come with a nice player aid. It tells you for a solo game how to do your turns and how to award her for following, and then how to do Scintilla's turn. So, okay. I might do the Mediator and trade these outcasts for a bunch of stuff. But I can only do 2 of them because it's going to, yeah. Yep, let's take this. So we're going to take these. That's going to be another 5. We'll get an Executioner and we'll get another Tyrant. And then we're going to activate our Mediator. So we're going to gain 3 points. And then we're going to do the level 2 one, and we can swap out. It says trade in your city for 2 in the assembly. We're going to trade these 2 here for this and this. And then this gets discarded. They can't follow me, so they're not going to. And then that and that happens there. And it's their turn. So Scintilla is going to take this and this. And then award Scintilla 5 points. Boom. And then this would get discarded. That's not an ability we can follow with because it's just not one that follows. So we're not going to do anything there. That'll slide up. That will slide over. We will give points to here and refill. Okay. I think we're going to take these two. Oh, do I want to take the 2 outcasts? And then trade them up later. See, this is the interesting part. I could take the outcast to try to get rid of them later with the Mediator and get those points. But I think I'm going to take these 2. I'm going to take the Medic and the Mediator. And then I'm going to activate my Executioner. So each player must discard... Oh, and then because I activate an attack card, I get 3 points. Which, let's consolidate a bit of this. That's 5. And that's 10. Okay. I'm going to activate my Executioner. So each player must discard 2 things. Discard all Executioners during cleanup. So the Executioner specifically, when Scintilla always discards cards from the blue row, then down the sequence until enough cards were discarded. So there's 2 here to discard. Then they would follow. However, they can't follow because they have no Executioners because I made them discard their Executioners. And then during cleanup, we'll fill this in. These will get discarded, and we'll add Spark to here. So the other thing I've kind of done is given them, if they take either of these, they get a strong action. Like if they get a purple card, they're going to get a strong action here for that ability. Okay. So let's see what they're going to do. We're going to flip, and they're going to take the bottom section. So they're going to take this Executioner and this Traitor. Then they're going to award Scintilla points plus an additional point per attack card on Scintilla's revealed card. So she gets 2 by base, and then she gets 3, 4, or she gets 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total. So she gets 6. We'll trade that in for a 10. Then this gets discarded. This slides up. Do I want to follow with the Mediator? And I don't think I want to yet because the city is still kind of a mess. So we'll replace this with the 5 and put that there. So, okay. Oh, you know what? I think maybe we wait. So I'm going to take these 2 outcasts and take this 5. I feel like that's worth a lot of points. We're going to swap that out for a 25. Since I took those, I'm going to activate my Medic. So we're going to take 4 from the bottom and place those out. That's 2 soldiers and 2 medics. They have no medic to follow, so I'm going to discard that. We'll refill. Actually swap that out for a 5. And then we'll refill here and here. Let's flip over their cards. They're going to take the top 2 and get that 5. So now we're tied. Then they are going to award Scintilla points, and then it says give them... Wait, it says award Scintilla 10 points because they've got 3 cards. And that's a 25, so we're going to swap those out. Then it says give 2 of your citizens to Scintilla. So I could just give him the outcast. Oh, these outcasts actually go here. I could give him the outcasts, but because the outcasts are so going to make the actions a lot stronger, I think I'm going to give them a medic and a tyrant. Because that way, I already have enough for like my abilities, especially endgame scoring for the medic or for the tyrant. So I don't want to like I don't want their abilities to be super strong. Because if they have a stack, they do a lot. As you can see here, that's 10 points. So one of these will get discarded. This slides down to the end. This slides up. This slides up. This slides up. And then if I wanted to follow a trader, I could, but I don't have a trader to follow. So it is my go. Okay. We're going to take these 2, the mediator and the soldier. It's going to get us 5 more there. And then I'm going to activate my mediator to gain 3 points and trade 3. So we're going to trade for these. Now we're back to where we were earlier. So we've traded for those. And then we used a mediator, right, for that. They don't have a mediator, so they don't follow. Really don't want those outsiders. Okay. Okay, Scintilla's going to take the outside. Okay. She's got a lot going on there. Award Scintilla 10 points. So we get 10 for having at least 3. Then trade 1 of your largest stacks with any smaller stack of Scintillas. So I have to trade this with a small stack. Oh dear. So this gets traded with this because I want this back. So trade 1 of your largest stacks with any smaller stack of Scintillas. So we do that. The outcast gets discarded because we're not going to follow. This slides. And then we're going to put that. Okay. Man, that was kind of rough. We're going to take these. No, yes. Yeah, we're going to take these. No, we're not going to take those. We're going to take these. Because I want to activate my soldier, it says take 3. Oh, so because I activate an attack ability, I get 3 points. Then it says take 3. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, no, they have more than I do. Because they have 6. Okay, I misplayed. That was a misplay. Okay, we're not going to do that then. Let's do our medic. So we're going to do 3 of these. And add these, or 4 of these now to our city. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're going to follow, so they're going to discard this for 3 points because then they have 1 in that stack. And then we did our medic, so we're going to discard that. That slides up, and that slides over. So sword icons, I have 7, so I can try to take those tyrants from him here in a bit. Or her. I don't know if Scintilla's a him or her, so them. Okay, so they're going to take this one, so they get that soldier and they get this outcast. Award Scintilla points, so they get 3 points because they've got 2 things there. Then it says trade 4 of yours for the 4 in the assembly. Oh, okay. So I definitely have to take these 2 for sure. That's fine. We're going to put those up there, and then we're taking these 2, and I'm trading a medic and a soldier for those because I have a medic and a soldier. Okay, so they activated this. This gets discarded. This slides back. Then I'm going to follow, which we haven't seen me do yet, for my trader. So it says, and since I do an attack card, maybe I've done one follow. I get 3 points. And then it says, since I have a stack of 3, trade 3 in 1 city with fewer than that. So I'm going to trade these 2. And a trader. No, I trade a mediator for this, and this. That slides up. That slides up. Okay. That gets discarded. Okay, we'll refill. We're getting close to the end. We have A couple turns left, and that's going to be it. Okay. Let me consolidate some of my points a bit. So there's 5. There's another 5. So that's a 10. And then they've got 25 here. So current standing is 56 to 41. So, but we're gonna at the end of the game score for all of our stuff. So I want to try to knock that outcast stack out if I can. Oh, this goes here. Good lord. Okay, I missed that. I want to try to knock out that outcast stack as much as I can. So we're gonna try to go for that in a bit. But we're gonna take that for this. We'll swap these out for a 10. And then I could trade again. Or I could take stuff from them. I could take 3 things from them. So let's do that. Let's activate our soldier. And we're going to take 3 things. We're going to take these 3. Because they have less sword icons than I do. It doesn't really matter because I'm not going to gain anything more. I'm just going to get a ton of sword icons for that ability. But we're going to take those. They have a soldier to follow. So they're going to get 3 points. And then I have to discard all my soldiers. But we'll slide their stuff up. If I have any hope of coming back, this is going to have to be how we're going to do it. All right. Let's activate Scintilla now. So she's going to take this section here and here with this point, which turns it to a 10. Then award Scintilla 1 point in the per citizen in the largest stack. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 points for her. That gets discarded. Do I follow with my mediator? I could trade some stuff. I don't really think I need to. I think I'm okay. Oh, this actually goes here. My bad. So I don't think I want to trade, or I want to follow. So I think we're going to leave that there. And then boom, boom. So basically after my turn, it'll be Scintilla's turn. And then if the deck runs out, we'll flip this back over, and then we play it until everybody has the same number of turns. Since we started, likely this is our last turn. So I think I just go for this for the points, right? And then this converts into, so I have a medic and I have a soldier. This converts into 25. And then I'm going to activate my, okay, so the idea is, do I leave my executioner, get rid of all these, so they're going to lose 3 points from me getting rid of this, but I'm also going to lose the 3 points from this, as well as I'm going to gain 3 points, so they net out, but I'm going to lose basically 9 points for losing all those swords. So maybe I don't do that. Maybe I activate my medic to take 4 cards from the bottom. We get a soldier, a traitor, an outcast, and a tyrant, which is fine because I'm only going to lose 1 point for every 2, so I should be okay on that. And then they are not going to follow because they don't have a medic. That refills. This gets added. We'll shuffle this up real quick. Okay, I think we're in a good spot. I think we're going to get a gang of points here. Okay, they're going to flip. They're going to take purple. So medic and mediator with the 2 points there. And then award Scintilla. So it'd be 2 points per stack in Scintilla. Wait, yeah. Award Scintilla per character stack. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So they're going to get 10 points. That gets discarded. This slides over. I could activate this and take some of their characters. So maybe we do that. Maybe we activate the trader's ability. We're going to follow. I get 3 points for activating an attack ability. And then since we're going to follow, I get to take up to 3 of their, because they've got fewer of these symbols, I could take 3 of their stuff. So I'm going to take 1, 2, and 3. That gets discarded, and that will slide up. And that's going to be the game. So, end game. Scintilla will score for each citizen they have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's consolidate this a little bit. So that's going to be 25 right there. And that's a 10. So their final score is 82, which I think we're going to end up beating them. Okay, so we're going to do our end game scoring. We score for each citizen, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Then we have end game scoring cards. This doesn't do anything. And then we're going to get 3 points because we have a stack of at least 3 for each sword icon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 times 3 is 42. So that's 10. So we end up with 120 against their 82. Or yeah, 82 or 80, sorry, 87. So 120 against their 87. So that should be a game. Now, I say all that because the last game I played, they got like 170 points. So with this exact setup. So it just worked out this way that I managed to avoid that. Now, the first time I played this setup was this is the second time I played this setup. So I was still trying to figure stuff out. But you are really playing to and against how they're playing. And I think like they just couldn't take stuff from me. I managed to like really just mess them up as much as I could. So it's very, very interactive with a solo opponent. But that's going to be a quick playthrough of Citizens of the Spark. So we won this game. If you feel like the game is too easy, you can adjust the difficulty. So the difficulty here can be adjusted here to hard and epic. So instead of 3 points, you can get 4 or 5 for the one card. 5 instead of 5, you get 7 or 10, and then 11 or 15. So you can really up the difficulty here. And yeah, that's going to be the playthrough. I've played this game probably like 6 or 7 times right now, and this is my kind of game. I love card games, and the cool thing about this is that you can. I mean, look at this. Look at all these cards. All of these different decks to use. Like I said, there's 33 decks if you have the expansion. It's 30 in the base game, but then you get 3 extra decks with the little transmission expansion. And you can completely change how the game plays. The one thing you can't do is some of these cards have this underline ability, or underline. You can't have more than 4 of those in a deck because it's all like, I think like reactive type of stuff. So you can't have more than that. I've got, actually, there's 2 there. Maybe they're endgame score. Maybe they're endgame scoring ones. And so you can't have, you know, I get -1 for every 2. I miscalculated that. So I should lower my score. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. It was 25. So I lose 12 points. Okay. So 107 to their 87. So I won by 20. So actually much better. I miscounted that. It's 1 point for every 2. Okay. Anyway, with all that being said, we're going to do another playthrough of this. I'm going to randomize everything so that way there isn't any sort of synergies. The back of the book, like it shows, here are your different kind of setups. You have your first game setup, which I've done a few times. You have a short game. You have low interaction, high interaction, convert focused, guild icon focused, strategic, and tactical. I did the strategic one as well. Got my butt kicked. So it kind of just depends on how the cards come out and kind of how things are working out. So anyway, with that being said, that's Citizens of the Spark. Be on the lookout. Maybe the next week or two we'll have another gameplay setup, gameplay for this. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what you guys think. Incredibly happy about this one. Really, this is the stuff I love, and I think this would be a really good game because it plays up to 5. You can really play this with people if you have people who aren't really gamers. I think because the rules are easy. You pick 2 cards and you activate one, and then you can follow. And I think it makes for a very entertaining game and a very strategic and tactical game. So anyhow, that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.